all, it's Michelle from the Scattered Scrapper. Welcome to my channel. Today is day 18 of Scrap-O-Ween. It's Freaky Friday and time to work in my October daily. So I have that here, and I have 3 stories that I want to tell today. I've got some supplies picked out and a couple of little ideas, so let's get started. The first story that I am going to record today is a story that happened to my younger daughter at her new job that she has. But first, what I need to do is make some tabs to put something into my album. So I have these little dies here from Elle Studio that I can use to die cut out some tabs to be able to make, what do you even call that? I've been calling it tabs, but to make the holes so that I can put them onto this thing that I have that I want to put into my album. And with these individual ones here, you can put them anywhere that you need them so that they will fit into your album, into like a D-ring or something like that. So what I am doing here is I'm cutting out 4 so that I can have the pattern on both sides when you flip the page. And I decided to use this marbly looking paper because once it's dyed out, it kind of looks like smoke to me. It's a little creepy looking, and there you can see what I am going to be putting into my album, and it is a picture of my daughter's eye. And I printed it out on Vellum so you can kind of see through it. And here I am trying to figure out exactly what size I need it to be so that I can have it sit properly in the album once I put those tabs on it. And I'm actually looking at it right now in my album, and I'm so excited because I actually measured right. I did. I measured it correctly. And of course, this right here helps because I do put these little pencil marks here so I can cut it correctly. I still wasn't 100% sure that I was measuring it accurately because once I put those little tabs on there, I was like, is it gonna stick out too far? Or because I am so bad with the measuring that I wasn't exactly sure how this was gonna turn out. And I even toyed with the idea of reprinting the picture, but I went ahead, persevered, and it all worked out. So here is where I figure out where to put the tabs so that it will fit properly into the album. And I'm just lining these up with the holes of the page protector. So these tabs do kind of encroach into my photo a little bit, but that's okay. It's not that bad. So, and that one side, I just used some ATG tape to kind of hold them down. And then the back side here, I'm using some wet glue to really glue them together. So everything stays in place and doesn't get popped off. So get that on there. And I do make sure I spend a little bit of time lining up everything and making sure it all lines up and doesn't have, the back side shining through to the front side. Just making sure and it's all lined up. Now, for half a second, I thought about going ahead and inking the edges of my vellum, but I decided against it. I like it just like it is. I did kind of toy with the idea of having that be black and white, but I did go ahead and print it out in color. And I think that it turned out so great. So this is a picture of my daughter at the doctor. And what had happened was she was at work and a coworker was on top of a ladder handing down some Christmas decorations to her from the very top of some shelves. She works at a Hobby Lobby, and she said that everything Christmas this year is glitter. Everything is glitter. It's glitter everywhere on everything. And as the coworker was handing down some, I think it was, she said it was trees, little trees, and they had glitter all over them that was supposed to look like snow. And one of those little glitters got into her eye. And it's not like a little tiny glitter, because I was thinking when I went up to the store to bring her something to help clean her eye out, I was looking to see if I could see a piece of glitter, but I didn't see anything. And she, washed her eye out, and they have the little eye wash thing there at the store to help. And thankfully she did not have glitter stuck in her eye. She had cried it out most likely almost as soon as it happened, because the particular glitter was like a hexagon. They were clear, but you could see them, but I don't know. It was kind of strange, and it was bigger. So I think she quite easily cried it out, but she did end up having a very small, shallow cut on her eye. It wasn't in her pupil. It was in the white part of her eye, but it was close to her iris. But she's fine. The doctor, he looked at it and was like, yeah, I just see this really small cut. It should be fine in a few days. You shouldn't have any problems. It should heal on its own. But he did put some of this glow under black light stuff in her eye. And then this is a picture of her with that black light shining in her face. And her eye was just glowing wherever that stuff was at. And that one tiny little scratch was lit up with that glow in the under black light stuff. And we're so thankful that that was all that it was just this tiny little cut that made her feel like she still had the glitter in her eye, but she didn't. It was fine. And by the next day she didn't even feel anything. She said her eye was all better, and I was very thankful for that. So but I did think that it was going to be really fun to have her eye really big there with the vellum. Now, this story here is about a book that I got, last month, I think, or maybe back at the end of August, in preparation for October, and it's called The Invention of Murder: How the Victorians Reveled in Death and Detection and Created Modern Crime. I saw that at the bookstore and I was like, I have to read it. That sounds so cool. And so here I am sitting outside with my chickens. These are our new ones. They're the babies. They'll not start laying until spring next year. But I'm sitting outside with them so they can get some time out in the grass and everything. And I've got my book and I'm reading my book. And you can kind of see them there in the background. And here I have backed my photo with a piece of paper from this little, this Paige Evans collection. I cannot remember the name of it. But it's her Halloween collection. I should have, wait, it's right behind me. What's it called? Tricks and Treats. Instead of trick or treat, it's tricks and treats. But I did pick out a piece of paper to back the photo with, because I am going to write about this book on the back of the photo. And there you also saw me use one of the die cuts from the die cut pack that is a tab. And I just folded that over and got it attached. And then I am going to ink the sides of all of the little die cuts here that I have picked out. And just, I have a regular old plain cardstock that I cut out to go into the little page protector. And this is one of the things that I really enjoy doing, is making a little scene that becomes a pocket. So I'm just kind of figuring out exactly how I want everything to stack up together, and this tombstone here that says spooky vibes only, and then I've got this moth here, and I kind of wondered, where in the world am I ever going to use a moth? I always have problems with bugs in general and where to use them, especially moths and butterflies. They're not my favorite, so I kind of have a hard time with them. But here, it just seems perfect to make this little pocket for me to stick my photo in. And then I do have these dark gray leafy bits here that I am using, and then I have this purple flower that I'm going to put down, and that just kind of goes with the purple tab. And this other little purple flower I'm going to tuck behind the tombstone, and I just have this little scene here. And I thought about putting the spider up there, but then I was like, I don't know how to put that on exactly so that it becomes part of the little tuck place, and I just thought it would get in the way, so I will use that somewhere else. And I also have this little vellum skeleton, which seems very apropos as well, because, you know, we're talking about murder here. So, and since it's about people have skeletons, especially once they've passed, and that's pretty much what's left. But I do have this little ghosty here, and I'm trying to figure out exactly where I want to put the die cuts, and I really wanted to use that spooky banner there, but I decide not to use it. And I'm also thinking about using a puffy sticker, but I also decide not to do that because I really don't want this to be really thick. I want it to be able to slip into its little pocket there. So I didn't want to make it difficult. But I do have some of these Tim Holtz little word stickers that are Halloween, and the one I just put down says who, which, and that, which kind of reminds me of who, what, when, where, why, that sort of thing, which to me goes with detection. You're going to ask all the questions. And then I have these other ones. It says the elementary facts, my dead body, the old man was dead, dead men. I'm like, I'm just going to pile all these on there because I don't know when else I'm going to use them. And then the one up there on the tab says so wicked. And I just wrote, my spooky read this year is a book about how the Victorian era gave rise to the first detective novels and how detective fiction and the police force developed at the same time. The Victorians were really into death and murder as entertainment, with shows like Bones and Criminal Minds and all the true crime shows. We've carried on that tradition. So I thought that this book would be very interesting to kind of see where all of that came about. And then I've got these little stickers on here, the little clear ones that I have a hard time with. So I put the little skull and crossbones, and I've got a little crescent moon and cloud, and then 2 tombstones on there. And then of course I'm finishing it off with a little bit of my Distress Mica stain. And I am using flickering candle. I need to get some more. I'm going to run out, or I'm afraid I'm going to run out. And then the next story that I'm going to be telling about is this picture here of me and most of my family, my immediate family. We were missing one of the family, and that was sad. I hate it when we can't all be together. And of course my camera's battery died, so I had to switch that out real quick. But you just missed me making that cut. So thankfully there wasn't a whole bunch of stuff going on. But I am going to be working outside of the page protector for this one. So I have this piece of paper from the Tricks and Treats collection. And I'm going to go ahead and put the holes in it so that I can mark exactly where I need to put my fold. And I have this little, well, the names of things just don't like to come. Like I used to know what that was, but I use it to make creases so I can fold the paper over without it tearing. But I just wanted to make sure that I could fold this paper over in exactly where I needed it to fold so that it will fit properly into the album. And I'm also going to be cutting my photo. And here I'm just making sure I'm not going through anybody's face, because I did not want to go through a face, but I was thinking I could get in between my husband and my older daughter, and I was so glad that that worked out. And I did think about putting a mat behind these photos, but I didn't want it to be really bulky. So instead of putting the photo mat, I went ahead and inked the edges. And so far it does not seem to rub off. I'm kind of looking at it here and running my finger across it, and since it's dry, it's not coming off. And that's just the Distress Oxide in Black Soot. So what I want to do here is attach this part of my photo in such a way that it becomes a pocket for my little journal, my little journaling spot there. So I'm just running a small bead of my Deluxe Nouveau Deluxe glue along the edge there, and I'm trying to get it as close to that fold as possible so my picture doesn't look too chopped up. And I'm making sure that I have enough room to tuck my little journaling spot in there. And I really wanted to trim this paper right on the edge where those squares meet, so it would be even or whatever, but I didn't cut it exactly right. So I went back again and ended up kind of ripping the paper just a little bit. You might could see it there on this side where you could see the white sticking up, and I tried to cover it up right there with some of this ink, but it's fine. It's fine. I mean, this is a Halloween or an October daily, so little bit ripped up paper is not gonna take away. It's gonna add to. It's gonna add to that aesthetic. And then I do have some little words to go on here, and I've got eye of newt and toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog, and then one that says no chemicals used. I figured those would go well with us eating dinner. And this is a picture of us at Burger King when I found out that they had Addams Family themed food, I was like, oh yes, we must plan a family dinner to go and eat all of the treats and foods and stuff that were Halloween themed. And so I just wrote down in my on my little journal spot, when I found out that Burger King had the Addams Family themed food, I knew I had to get the family together and try all the items. Thankfully, my family loves me and indulges me, and everyone came together to try the food. Well, everyone except Sean. He had to stay home and sleep because he had to get ready for work. Everything was good, and I thought the purple bun was so fun. And it was. I thought that the sandwich was good because, you know, it tastes like a Whopper, which is good. It needs to taste like itself. But it really is fun to have that purple bun with the black sesame seeds. And it's made with purple potatoes, so that's what gives it its vibrant color. And I actually grew purple potatoes in my garden 2 years ago, and that was really fun. It was really fun to dig those up and then cook them, and it's like you have purple mashed potatoes. And here I am looking to see how I can decorate the back side of this die cut, because it's just plain old white. And I did think about covering it up, but then I'm like, I don't want to spend the time cutting it out. So I didn't do it that way. I just decided to put some stickers around. So I'm just looking, basically I'm looking for stickers that will fit and kind of go with the theme. I mean, a crow, not really, but you know, candy corn, that's food. Ghost, goes with the theme. And then that little potion bottle, we'll say that's drink. And of course, I'm going to put my mica stain down. And then there I did title it Halloween Food Run. And I just used some, I think both of those alphabets are from Elle's studio. And I did go ahead and put some puffy stickers on that one. And that is going to do it. I'm going to bring up some of these, or actually I guess all of them, so you can see them close up. And oh, look how cool that is. And you can see through it. You can see through her eye. And then here you can see how it just tucks in under the skeleton and the tombstone there. And I'm really excited to read this book. I have started reading it, obviously, but I have not been able to get in it too far, but I am excited to get in it. And then this side is just little pictures of the food, and I made a little shaker, or put some sequins in that little spot there. And then here you can see the journal spot tucked in. And that's gonna do it. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope it has given you some inspiration, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.